this tutorial we'll be making a sword attack system with custom animations using enhanced input and C++. When swinging the sword we can damage actors of our choice. In future episodes we'll be making a health system and a attack combo system. Make sure you like and subscribe if it helps, and I also have a Discord in the description, so join that if you need any help. Here we are in the third person template in Unreal Engine 5.6, the brand new third person template. I've made some slight changes, but that doesn't really matter for this tutorial. So first of all, we are going to go to Mixamo, and this is where we are going to get our animations. You'll go to mixamo.com and you can search up your sword attack animations, and you get quite a few options. You can see some are combos and some, like this one, this is a combo and you're moving. We want one that is in place. This one here, you can see we are not moving forward, we stay in one spot and it's one swing, so this is perfect for a tutorial. You can make it faster if you want by changing the overdrive, but we're just going to download it without the skin as an FBX, and these two are up to preference. I'm doing 30 frames per second and no reframe reduction. And we can just drag this and drop this and select the skeleton you're using. So this will be a player's skeleton, and import. Now I am using the Mani for this tutorial, so I'm going to retarget animations just by right clicking, retargeting, selecting the mannequin, selecting the animation, and exporting the animation into your animation folder. I'm going to delete the old one, and now you can see this is our animation. Next we are going to get a sword for the sword attack. Now Unreal Engine 5.6 has this new fab button. You can also look this up online. I'll be teaching this version. So just click fab, you can look up sword. You can get some paid ones, or you can search filters, price, and look for it for free. I got this one here by Quixel, and I've already imported it into my project. Now finally, inside our player, we'll get to your skeletal mesh of our player. We are going to find our hands. So this up arm, hand left, you can do hand left. I'm going to search up hand right, and we are going to right click, add socket, and it's going to be sword underscore socket. This might be different depending on your skeletal mesh, but we want a sword socket in our hand. I'm going to move it as so it'll be in our hand. This is where the sword will be held. Now inside C++, go to our player code. We are going to create the sword mesh, and this is you static mesh component sword mesh, and this will be view property. This will anywhere. Different read only. You can also just copy paste this here if you wish, and in here we are going to do sword mesh equals create default sub object u static mesh component, and we are just going to name this sword. And then we do sword setup attachment. This has an error, and that's because up here we will need to do hashtag include. I believe it's components static, yep, components slash static mesh component dot h. So we go back to here, and this needs to be sword mesh setup attachment get skeletal mesh, I believe. No, this is just git mesh. Yep, and then we are going to go back and rename it sword socket, so we can copy paste that, and in brackets sword socket. So this sword mesh will be attached to the sword socket in our character's mesh. This is all. We can leave a comment up here. Next, we're going to run begin play, which we do not have, so I'm going to make one. So that's virtual void begin play override. We can create this, and it is super begin play. And in here, I'm going to look this up because I never memorize it. You can't memorize everything, and this is the one thing that I do not like to memorize. But so this here, we're going to check our collision with the sword. We're going to check if the sword has hit something. So to do this, we're going to do void on overlap begin, and you primitive component. I'm actually going to rename this to on sword overlap begin overlap component. Misspelled that. A actor other actor you primitive component. Once again, this is the other component in 32 of the body index will be from sweep and const f hit result and a little and sign sweep result. I forgot a comma and I've got capitalization here. Yep, and this must have u function above it. If you have nothing inside it, it must have u function above it. We can create this, and now inside our begin play, we are going to get our sword mesh, and we are going to do on component begin overlap, which is what we want. We want when it begins the overlap, and we're going to add dynamic. This what nope, we don't want internal, just add dynamic. This and a little and sign. Scroll down, get this here, just copy it, the class name and then the function name. So what this does, it is when the component sword mesh overlaps, it will call this function, and this function basically has a lot of inputs which give us details about the component we hit. All we want to do for now is get the other actor and destroy it. You can do a cast to check if it's an enemy. However, we don't have an enemy class right now, so we're just going to destroy anything that it hits that isn't the player. So, if the other actor, which is the actor we have hit, is not equal to this, and we also want to check if it is valid, and the other actor isn't this, so if it exists and it is, we're not hitting ourselves, we're just going to do other actor destroy. Now you can do a cast, and then if other actor is equal to whatever your cast is, then you can destroy it, or then you can subtract health. But we'll probably do that in another video. If you want to see how to do that, let me know. Right now we're destroying it. But What happens if the sword overlaps with something and we're not in the attack state? Well, to fix that, we're going to make a bool called B is attacking. You're going to do U property, edit anywhere. Actually, no. It is blueprint read write. We don't want to edit it anywhere. We want to edit it in blueprint. So we're going to check if B is attacking, and if we are attacking, then we will check for an overlap, and then we will destroy if we are attacking. If we're not attacking, it won't destroy anything. We will change is attacking to true and false later, but right now we are going to start calling the animations. So up here we are using enhanced input. We can just copy paste some of the input actions we have here and change it to attack action. I'm gonna ignore those errors. I think it's just Visual Studio being weird. But we have the attack action, and in here we are going to copy one of these here and make attacking. Change this look to attack action and change this to attack. This means you need to make a new function called attack. So void attack. So if you don't have enhanced input set up, I highly recommend you do, but if you don't know how to use this, you can watch my video in enhanced input. For now, we just want to call the attack animation, get mesh, and then we're going to get the animation instance, get anim instance, and then montage underscore play, and we want to get our attack animation. So to do this, once again, back in the header file, we're going to create u anim montage, and it's going to be attack animation, not a function, so just attack animation, a new property, edit anywhere, and we're going to give this a category of attack just to make things organized, and then we are going to call the attack animation. I forgot to put the asterisk in the header file. So you anim montage asterisk attack animation. Now we don't want to call this multiple times, so if we are not attacking, it will do this. And then above this we set attacking to true. We should have also, this is a bit unorganized, so apologies, but we're going to duplicate this and call it B should deal damage. And inside the sword overlap, change B is attacking to B should deal damage. So we'll only destroy things when we should deal damage. Now, that is it complete in the coding section, so we can close, save selected, and compile. Now everything has compiled fine. Inside the player blueprint, we can search for our attack animation, and when we click the drop down, we don't have an animation montage, so go to your animation, now be imported, right click it, and create anim montage. I'm just gonna leave the name as it is, but you can change it if you want, and now we can select it. The attack action we have to make. So go to our input folder, our actions. I'm just going to duplicate jump and name it attack. Inside our default mapping, create a new attack, left click, save, and in our tag action, we're going to select that input. Now open up our animation montage, and we are going to right click on the notify section. So you can see this is track 1. You can create a new track, and we're going to create a notify state. Go back to your animation folder, create a new folder called notifiers, and we're going to right click blueprint class, and we're going to search for notify state, and click anim notify state. Name it blueprint underscore attack notify state. Open it up, and on override, we're going to do notify begin, and another for notify end. Inside begin, drag off the right thing, and search for cast to PP third person character, and off the mesh component, we're going to get owner. And now here, we are going to drag off this. We're going to set should deal damage to true. And in return node, check this. And under cast field, we're going to do another. This is optional without a tick. Copy paste this into the notify end. Connect it up and accept this time should deal damage is false, and we're dealing dragging off the player again is attacking to false. Compile. Oh, and don't forget to link this up. Now in a montage, under notifies, you see this little track named 1, or you might have a custom track. Gonna add a notify state, and it's gonna be in the BP notify attack notify state. Now we made, you'll be able to drag this. So I'm gonna pause the animation, and I'm gonna skim through it, and I want the attack to start here. So I'm gonna drag the first one to here. And I want the attack to end about here. So I'm gonna do that. And now, if we press play, you can see we swing. We don't have a sword mesh, so inside the sword mesh that we created, search for the sword. It is a bit too big, don't you think? So I'm going to scale that down and just rotate it like so. Make sure that it is linked up to the hand. Compile, and now we can swing. I did forget one more thing. Inside your player blueprint, go to your sword mesh and scroll down until you see collision presets. Make sure it is overlap all, and generate overlap events is ticked. Compile and save. And for all the actors that you want to be destroyed, make sure generate overlap events is ticked, and there is a block all or overlap all collision. All can also be all dynamic, as long as it has a collision. And now, when you swing, it'll be destroyed. And that is all for the tutorial. If it helped, like and subscribe, leave a comment, it all helps with the algorithm. And join my Discord if you want to talk or get any help. Bye.